Hey everyone, I'm Rob from Mississauga, Ontario. I want to talk to you today about the Toronto Maple Leafs. Trading deadline is coming soon. The Leafs are talking turkey to every National Hockey League team in the NHL. The Leafs are looking for players for the playoffs. They're looking for players in the future. I think that Toronto should really keep their options open. Maybe pick up a defenseman or a forward. Now I'm going to throw some players up there I think the Leafs should look at and go shopping with. Number one, David Clarkson, power forward, Toronto boy. He's a free agent this year. He's 28 years old, 6'1", 205. He drops the gloves. He scores goals. I'll tell you right now, I would put David Clarkson on the second line with Nazem Kadri and Joffrey Lupul, and you watch that line explode in the playoffs. Now to get David Clarkson, it's going to cost Matt Bratton, Jesse Blacker, and maybe a second-round pick. Now, I know everybody's saying that's a lot, but why don't you do this? Why don't you get David Clarkson, give them Matt Bratton, Jesse Blacker, and a third-round pick in this year's draft, and get a prospect defenseman and Clarkson coming the other way. Another trade that I would make, I would give the Edmonton Oilers a second-round pick for 2013. Second-round pick for Ladislav Smid, the defenseman. He blocked shots. He played in Anaheim and won a cup with Randy Carlyle. The Leafs need a number one center. Now, I know everybody's saying they need a number one center, but have they even watched the games here in Toronto? I mean, Kadri's hot. He's a center. He's 22 years old. He's going to be the number one center in Toronto. I guarantee you. Mark my words. Right now, the Leafs have a 1-2 punch in Bozak and Kadri. Why don't we just smear the pie a little bit and get down to business and maybe go out and get a Joe Pavelski for Jake Gardiner straight up, you know? I know a lot of people are saying, oh, well, why would you do that trade? Well, Joe Pavelski, if you watch hockey and you watch the playoffs, he's a playoff guy. Jake Gardiner 22, he's 28. I say make the deal. He's a proven number two center, this guy. So when Kadri is ready, you know, Joe can come back and play second line center. Just in case Bozak doesn't resign, you have somebody to fall back on. Another guy I'd like to see the Leafs pick up is maybe a goalie like Mike Smith or Jaroslav Halak, or even the guy in LA, Bernier. You know, if I'm Dave Nonis on trading deadline, I'm shopping Carl Gunnarsson, Mike Komisarek, Tim Connolly, Clark MacArthur, Grabowski, Coolman, and Mike Costa, and I'm even going to put Kessel's name out there. I'm going to see what I can get for Kessel. I heard a rumor from a buddy of mine in Columbus that Columbus Blue Jackets GM is very interested in Grabowski and Carl Gunnarsson. He's been at the Leafs last 5 games. I'm going to say that the Leafs, if they're smart, they'll trade the Gunnarsson and Grabowski to the Blue Jackets in exchange for Ryan Johansson, Columbus's first-round draft pick, and also Brendan Davinsky. Now, if they won't go for that trade, then I would go with James Wisniewski instead of Davinsky. But I tell you right now, that'd be a good trade because the Leafs would get a good young player in Ryan Johansson. And that first round pick, that could easily be a Jonathan Drouin, Max Domi, it could be whoever. It's a strong draft this year. I think the Leafs should try to get some draft picks for this year's draft. Next year's draft, 2014, is going to be pretty good as well. But I think this year's draft is going to be strong. It hasn't been a strong draft like this since 1997, the Joe Thornton draft. So I'll tell you right now, if Dave Nonis thinks he's going to get Luongo for Bozak only. You're dreaming, dude. Because honestly, I would not even make that deal in a heartbeat. Luongo is 33 years old. He's not going to get any better, and he's not going to win the North Stanley Cup. If he didn't win it in Vancouver, what makes you think he's going to do it in Toronto? I'm going to tell you right now, Toronto needs David Clarkson. Toronto needs Joe Pavelski. Toronto needs a guy like Laffy Torres. Toronto needs a Ladislav Smith. Toronto needs a guy like Robin Leduc. You go with these 5 guys and add a goalie like Mike Smith or a guy, Terry Lettman, let's just say. You add a goalie or a Bernier. I tell you right now, you go with the team you have. You'll make some noise in the playoffs. You won't win the cup, but you'll make some noise in the playoffs and trade the other guys like the Gobaskis, the MacArthurs, the Coolmans, get drafted, and draft your kids. That's how you win Stanley Cups, is by drafting. How do you think Edmonton's got so much talent? Drafting. Look at Pittsburgh. Look at the trades they made. McGinley, Murray, they made these trades because they have depth. They have prospects. This is how you win Stanley Cups. Drafting, drafting, drafting. Dave Nonis, smell the coffee. Your time is up. The clock is ticking, and we want to make the playoffs, and we want a winning product. So let's go. Show us what you got. Show what you're made of, buddy.